Planning your first Disney World trip can feel overwhelming with so much to do, see, and eat. We've been to Disney World hundreds of times, and not only have we figured out how to plan the best vacation, we've made some big mistakes that we want you to avoid on your first trip. So we put together this video of what we wish we had known before our first trip to Disney World. That way, you'll be one step ahead of everyone else in the parks. Let's start with the basics. With everything that goes into planning a Walt Disney World trip, you should start planning early. We recommend starting the planning process 6 to 12 months in advance. This will give you enough time to research and make informed decisions about your trip, as well as secure flights, hotel, Disney park tickets, and make dining reservations that you prefer. With 4 theme parks, 2 water parks, Disney Springs, and over 200 restaurants, and more, there's a lot of information to sift through, so the more time you have to plan, the better. The My Disney Experience app has become one of the most essential things to have within arm's reach at all times during a Disney World vacation. In fact, the app is a great resource even if you're just in the planning stages of your first Walt Disney World trip. So if you haven't already downloaded the app, do it right now. Don't worry, we'll wait. With the My Disney Experience app, you can book your tickets and special event tickets, view wait times for attractions, make dining reservations, find character experiences, navigate the parks with interactive maps, and so much more. To get the most out of the app, it's a good idea to familiarize yourself with it before your trip, and take some time to explore the different features and options available. Trust us, the app will become your best friend when planning your trip, well, besides us here at Eat, Sleep, Disney. Regardless of how many members are in your travel party, when traveling to Disney World, you need to ensure you bring a day bag. Between constantly using the My Disney Experience app, communicating with your family, and snapping photos, your phone battery will likely run out of charge faster than expected. That's why we recommend packing a portable charger in that day bag so you don't have to go without one of the most important accessories you need during your trip, your phone. But there's a lot more you should be packing in that day bag. Central Florida weather can be unpredictable. While Florida is known for its heat and humidity during the summer months, it can get cold in the winter, especially in the mornings and evenings. And there's a good chance that regardless of when you visit, that a thunderstorm could pop up seemingly out of nowhere. So, to be prepared, check the weather leading up to your trip and ensure you pack a poncho or rain jacket for every member of your family. And we also recommend bringing an umbrella. If you're visiting during the summer months, we recommend packing a few extra outfits in case you need to change midday. And don't forget an extra layer if you're visiting in the winter months. Staying hydrated is also essential, especially in the summer. That's why we recommend bringing a refillable water bottle for every member of your family. There are water refill stations throughout the parks, or you can get cups of water from most quick service restaurants or stands that have a soda fountain. If you're traveling with little kids, that day bag should also include sunscreen, a hat, and snacks. Yes, Disney lets you bring food and non-alcoholic drinks into the parks. Or, if you're like us, you have your popcorn bucket handy for those discount refills. When planning your first trip to Disney World, one of the most important decisions you'll make is where to stay. While there are many hotels and resorts in the Orlando area, we recommend considering staying at a Disney World Resort hotel, especially if it's your first time. Disney World Resort hotels immerse you in all things Disney and offer a variety of benefits that make your trip more seamless, including more time in the parks, free theme park transportation, discounted magic bands, early access to dining reservations and special event tickets, plus more. Currently, there are over 25 Disney World hotels at varying price points and themes. So be sure you give yourself some time to learn about them all before making your reservations. Yes, Disney World is known for its rides, but meeting your favorite characters is also one of the most exciting parts of visiting Disney World. Whether it's Mickey Mouse, Cinderella, or Buzz Lightyear, there are plenty of opportunities to meet and interact with your beloved Disney characters. And you don't have to spend time searching for them. The My Disney Experience app has all of the current character meet and greet locations, meeting times, and current wait times. And honestly, many of the meet and greets are inside. So if nothing else, You can take a break from the Florida heat while grabbing some photos with your favorite characters. But that's not all. Be sure you don't miss any of the parades or cavalcades too, as this is another fun way to say hi to Disney characters in the parks. Not to mention live stage shows based on your favorite Disney movies, 3D movies and cartoons, or other Disney theme events like dance parties and sing-alongs taking place throughout all of the parks. So, take time to enjoy everything the parks have to offer besides its famous rides. If you're planning your first trip to Disney World, you might be wondering if you need to rent a car to get around. Well, the answer is no, you don't. And you probably shouldn't waste the money on a rental car. Disney World is designed to be easy to get around without a car, especially if you're staying at a Disney hotel. If you're flying to Orlando International Airport, you can get to your hotel by booking a shuttle service or using a rideshare service. Once you're at your Disney World hotel, you can hop on complimentary transportation to all 4 theme parks, water parks, and Disney Springs. The Disney Dining Plan is a prepaid meal plan that allows you to enjoy a variety of dining experiences at Disney World without having to pay while you're there. With the plan, you'll receive a set number of meal credits per day per person, which you can use at select restaurants throughout the parks and resorts. But honestly, in our experience, guests usually don't save money with the dining plan. Having a Disney dining plan may indeed make dining in the parks more convenient. However, with some pre-planning, you can easily schedule meals throughout the day, forgoing the hefty dining plan charges, which range from $57 per person for the quick service plan to over $94 a day for the Disney dining plan per adult. While every family's eating habits are different, we typically eat 2 meals a day while in the parks, with a few snacks in between. We often split meals and snacks, and we often opt for either quick service or sit-down restaurants for different meals throughout the day. Yes, we often plan this in advance and do a mix of these different type of dining experiences, and we appreciate the flexibility of trying different dining experiences and not feeling forced to have to eat at certain restaurants because we have a dining plan. But we do recommend that you try both some of the quick service restaurants and some of the sit-down restaurants. So of course, this does mean that we always make Disney dining reservations. One of the most important things you need to do when planning your first trip to Disney World is stay on top of those Disney dining reservations. Making your reservations as early as possible is crucial to ensure you get the dining experiences you want. You can make reservations up to 60 days in advance, and it's a good idea to do so as soon as your booking window opens. You can make your reservations by visiting Disney's website, calling their dining reservation line, or using the My Disney Experience app. And if you're staying at a Walt Disney World resort, you're able to make dining reservations for the entire length of your stay, starting 60 days before your check-in day. If you can't get the reservations you want 60 days in advance, don't stress. We recommend that you check back frequently leading up to your trip and even during your trip, as people constantly change and cancel reservations. One of the best ways to save time and avoid long lines for food is to mobile order. This feature allows you to order food and drinks from select quick service restaurants and snack stands using the My Disney Experience app on your smartphone. To use mobile order, select the restaurant or snack stand you want to order from. Pick an arrival window. Choose your items, customize your order, and pay using a credit card or Disney Dining Plan credits. Then, when you arrive at the restaurant or snack stand, use the app to let them know you're there. Your order will be prepared and ready for you to pick up without having to wait in line. Using mobile order can save you a significant amount of time, especially during peak dining hours. You can also use it to order food in advance, allowing you to plan your meals and avoid long lines. And that is what Heidi and I often do. Early in the morning, once the park officially opens, we go into the app and we plan out our meals, whether it's going to be a quick service lunch, snack, or dinner. So you can actually do your mobile order hours in advance, pick that arrival time, and then you're all set. Don't worry, if your plans change, you can go back and try to modify that arrival time. But of course, keep in mind those peak dining times do fill up quickly. This next tip is crucial. To make the most of your day at Disney World, it's important to get to the parks early. By getting there right when the park opens, you can avoid the crowds and long lines that form later in the day. Plus, you'll have more time to explore the parks and enjoy the attractions. Currently, Disney World Resort guests have access to early theme park entry, which allows you to enter any of the 4 theme parks, so Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Animal Kingdom, and of course, Disney Hollywood Studios, 30 minutes before the parks open for the day. This gives you a head start on the day and can make a huge difference in how much you get to do during your trip. Insider tip, if you are staying on Disney World Resort property and want to take advantage of early entry, keep in mind the buses typically start running about an hour before the park opens. So if Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios is set to open at 9 a.m., your early park entry will be 8:30, and that transportation will probably start running around 7:30. The My Disney Experience app does show current bus wait times, but to be honest, they're not always 100% accurate. At your resort's bus stop, there will also be screens showing you when the next bus is expected to arrive, and those times continually update and change. So if nothing else, try to arrive to the bus stop a few minutes earlier than the expected bus arrival time just to be safe. When visiting Walt Disney World, there is just some things you learn the hard way, no matter how much you try. Things may not always go as planned during your trip, and that's okay. While it is important to have an itinerary and a general idea of what you want to do, it's equally important to be flexible and open to changes. We recommend that having an idea of things you want to accomplish each day of your trip and leaving room for changes and detours. You might find that you much prefer a Mickey pretzel over a quick service restaurant. Or you might find the lines for rides are longer than you anticipated, so you can't get to everything you originally planned. Or you might run into one of your favorite Disney characters while walking around the parks and decide it's better to let your kiddos run around with them and have more fun than getting to the next ride or a show. Disney World is full of surprises, so go with the flow and allow yourself to enjoy them all. Waiting in line is inevitable when visiting Disney World. However, there are always ways to minimize the time you spend in line. For example, consider planning a trip for a time of year when there are fewer crowds. Opt for the single rider lines when they're offered, or plan to get to the parks bright and early to start your day with several rides. You can also purchase Lightning Lane MultiPass, which allows you to skip the line at select attractions for an additional price on top of your theme park ticket. Guests staying at Walt Disney World property can make Lightning Lane reservations 7 days before the first day of their reservation for any of the parks they want to visit. When purchasing Lightning Lanes, guests can reserve up to 3 attractions for a designated park and then can make additional Lightning Lane reservations after redeeming their passes based on availability. For the most sought-after attractions, guests can purchase Lightning Lane single passes, which are good for attractions like Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, or Tron Light Cycle Run. When visiting Disney World for the first time, one thing you should be prepared for is a lot of walking. Disney World is huge. It's not uncommon to walk several miles each day, regardless of the park you choose to visit. Your shoes are perhaps the most important thing you'll wear during your trip, so we recommend that you avoid wearing brand new shoes or sandals that haven't been broken in yet, as they may cause discomfort and pain. It's also a good idea to wear socks that will keep your feet dry and prevent blisters. You may also want to start walking more in your daily routine leading up to your vacation to prepare for the demands on your body. If you are traveling with little kids, you might be worried about how to enjoy the bigger attractions while keeping your little ones entertained if they're not tall enough to ride just yet. Fortunately, Disney offers a service called Rider Switch that allows parents with small children to take turns riding the bigger rides while the other person waits with the child, and you don't have to wait in line double the amount of time. Here's how it works. One parent waits in line and rides the attraction while the other parent waits with the child. When the first parent is finished riding, they switch with the second parent, allowing them to skip the line and ride the attractions without waiting in the regular queue again. To use Rider Switch, simply go to the attraction's entrance and let the cast member know that you'd like to use the service. They'll provide you with the directions and get you to the designated waiting area. That way, you don't spend needless extra time in line and can enjoy more of the parks. Photos are one of the best ways to remember a vacation, and Disney makes it easy to capture all your memories with Disney PhotoPass. With multiple photographers stationed throughout the parks, you can pose in front of the most iconic areas in Disney World, knowing that your entire family is in the photo, including you. While the Disney PhotoPass photographers do take your pictures for free, it's important to know that you'll need to purchase a Memory Maker package or individual images to have access to them after your trip. If you'd prefer not to spend extra money on photos, we recommend asking the photographer to also snap a few pictures on your phone or personal camera, and usually they're happy to do this. While Disney World is best known for its 4 theme parks, there's another Disney themed spot that you don't want to miss: Disney Springs. This massive shopping and dining complex features some of the best restaurants and stores across the Walt Disney World Resort, including the largest Disney store in the world. And the best part, it's totally free to visit. Just hop on Disney Transportation or park in any of the free parking garages to see what Disney Springs has to offer. Perhaps the one thing that we truly weren't prepared for during our first trip to Walt Disney World were the costs. Yes, everyone knows that a trip to Walt Disney World isn't cheap, but until you actually visit the resort, you really don't know how much to allocate for things such as food, souvenirs, as well as those hidden costs you don't think about when planning your trip. Well, lucky for you, right here on YouTube, we have a complete breakdown of how much it really costs to go to Walt Disney World. In that video, we cover all the different categories you need to budget for when planning your trip, plus our recommendations on how much to allocate based on decades worth of visiting the parks and traveling to Walt Disney World. Armed with all that information, you'll have a better sense of how much it will really cost you and your family to go to Disney World. That way, you'll be one step ahead of everyone else in the parks.